All right, let's talk about Freedom Wars Remastered. I'm going to give you my first impressions review after around 4 or 5 hours of the game. And the reason why it's only 4 to 5 hours is I don't want to play this game anymore. It's basically a Monster Hunter type of game in the sense of that is the cycle. Let's go ahead and talk about the story, a little bit of the gameplay, what I liked and then what I disliked about it, and what ultimately made me stop playing it, right? So this game, first of all, this game came out on the PS Vita in 2014. So as of recording 11 years ago, which doesn't seem too long ago, but yeah, it was, it's a handheld game. There's no slight against it. Many amazing handheld games, but I think this one in particular does a lot of things right and some things really weird. So the story is it's a futuristic sort of world, anime style. Basically, some people are born and they're sinners. There are citizens, people who watch over the citizens, and then there are sinners who does everyone's dirty job. So basically, we play as a character created sinner who has about 1 million years that they have to sort of pay back to society before they are quote unquote free. This is a sort of industrial dystopian sort of thingy where things are run down. We have robots, we have a little magic, people use swords, guns, giant hammers, rockets, will-o-wisp elements, that sort of thing. So basically, the different types of things that you have to do to get your years down, right, to become free, is do these missions. And the missions do stuff like escort citizens, save citizens, get resources, go from A to B, kill things, etc. You can also do things like selling your resources that you find, and then you go from there, and that's pretty much the story. Of course, without spoiling things, you end up finding a little bit more of the system and how the inner workings work. And ultimately, will you break that system? And what is the true thing behind all of these sinners, and is it really a necessary thing? So that's the story. If that sounds interesting, by all means play it. So the gameplay is third person, over the shoulder. Really think Monster Hunter though. Going on these missions, you can go single player, you have NPCs, you can play with friends, which I highly recommend playing with friends. But basically, you have these maps that you go into. They're like really small, self-contained maps, and you do your mission there. You have regular attacks, heavy attacks. You run, you dodge. You have consumables like throwing, sticky grenades, buffs. You have a thorn, which everyone uses, which is a type of special equipment used to traverse the land in the form of vertical movement. In this game, there's no jump button. So you basically use your thorn. It has a specific range, and you attach onto walls, you attach onto enemies, you can use it to grab things, and you can use it to use special abilities. You have 2 weapons you bring into battle. You have, as I mentioned at the very beginning, swords and all that good stuff. You can upgrade the weapons, you can put different modifications / modules on them to buff them up. Different weapons, a lot of weapon types over the range ones, which is like basic assault rifles, snipers, grenade launchers, wide area attacks, etc. So I really enjoy the idea of the game, but ultimately the game feels like it's a product of its time. And I'm not even saying like this is an old game. As I said, it was a 2014 game, and it's a re-release remaster in 2025. And to look up very specifically the things that they've changed, or actually they remastered. All right, so here on the Steam page, it pretty much says I played it on Switch, and running perfect on Switch. I mean, it's a Vita game, it better run perfect, right? So basically, here it is. It's a new re-rendered graphics for the worlds, the prison cities, enemies, and battles, which, yeah, it looks pretty good. New features here: high resolution support, 4K resolution, added a difficulty level setting, which you have to enable in the game by talking to your NPC accessory, Deadliest Sinner mode, right? And an overhauled weapon crafting system, which I think when the game first released, a lot of people, it was very confusing for them, so hopefully it's a little better now. So right now on Steam, this is not an overall impression of like the whole game as a whole, but it's like mixed. And I'm gonna go down and look now, and we'll see what the problem is. But I feel like the reason why people are giving it mixed on Steam is because the initial launch is a lot of crashes, which is why I got it on Switch instead. Very happy to play it on there, except if you're looking for friends to play, I highly doubt there's crossplay. You probably want to play on Steam. So yeah, before I look down there and, you know, skew my view on it, let's continue talking about the game, what I like, what I dislike. I really like the Monster Hunter-esque game loop. Like, I love it. I love Monster Hunter stuff, right? Basically, you start with almost no entitlements, is what the game says. Like, you can't even lay down without adding more stuff to you know, adding more years to your character's overall years, which is kind of funny. You can't run for more than a couple of seconds. I mean, more of that as you go through the game. You do more missions, you do more story missions, you get entitlement points, which you can use to spend, and that's like the really fun part of the game for me, is the progression of like, okay, I can run a little farther, I can have unsupervised visits, I can speak to other sinners now. Finally, you know, I can go places, I can, oh my god, I now have the ability to craft new items, etc. So that's the really fun part. And going into the missions isn't that bad either. You know, I was highly expecting to go in and not have any NPCs join me, but no, they do, and they actually do a good job doing, you know, adding into a lot of the DPS here. You can actually talk to your teammates and be like, hey, can you carry this person so I don't have to do it, you know, and do all that stuff. But basically, yeah, that's the fun part. You also can unlock new customizations, and the game also comes with all the DLCs. So, you know, anything that was originally you had to get extra on the Vita is now here to get in one form or another. Either you get it in the game via unlocking things or whatever, but the reason why I'm just not playing it, it's the gameplay is clunky now, albeit yes, it's the Vita, it's expected, but I don't know, I really feel like the game did not need this sort of verticality. It could have just been a straight, you know, flat plane sort of game and be that way with a little bit of verticality, but not so much that it's like a huge platform-esque sort of thing, which this game is. But the biggest thing that makes it like sucky is the amount of time wasted in the main story. Now, I mean, talking, and trust me, I'm reading everything, but I'm not listening to everything. Like, I'm reading it and then I'm pressing a button to move on to the next piece of dialogue. Even doing that, there was a part in the game where it was like literally 40 minutes to about an hour and a half of running around, fetch questing, talking, and learning the mechanics, which is fine, but it just really had a bad first impression. Now, I'm assuming the farther you go, it might get a little bit better, but I also read somewhere that the game wasn't even completely finished. Apparently, like, someone in development left a little bit right before the game was complete, like 100% to completion, so they just shipped whatever they had and like wrapped it up as much as they could. But let's go ahead and see down below what people are saying. Now, once again, I think like most people are going to say, hey, it's crashes and stuff. And they do have crash issues here. You know, we apologize. We're looking to find a fix, etc. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so let's look at the recent reviews. Great game. If you got more than one monitor, you're going to want to die when you tab yourself out every time. When you tab yourself out. 70 hours! Good as I remember. Yeah, I feel like if you play this guy's played on the Steam Deck. I feel like if you play this game a long time ago, you're gonna have fond memories for sure. But in today's climate, me playing this, I'm happy to play it. I'm happy to have tried it out. This game, if I played it back in the day, 11 years ago, I would have loved it. I would have been all over it. But there's so many games I want to sink my time into and try that the fact that it's bogging down so much and it feels like a slog, I have to move on and do other stuff, unfortunately. I love the original. This guy's 22 hours in this one. This one stands out to me because the guns are guns. You're taking out huge robots with rocket launchers. See, that's the cool stuff here. I like the system where weapons do damage for as long as they're in the hitbox. A few changes compared to the original. Fully upgraded weapon system is easy now. You cannot pick up a third weapon on the field. It was cool. On the positive side, they brought back the custom TTS options. That's right. They also added text-to-speech voices and things, which I'm not sure if it was in the original, but it really feels like AI speak, because a lot of the, like, some words, it's really like they misspeak it. You can do English and Japanese. There you go. Okay, 11 hours. Cons first. Easy anti-cheat. It's crashing. I don't know. I can't think of any. Now the pros. It's Freedom Wars. Okay, this guy's not really helping. Great game. Freezes and crashes. I have a 480 and an i7. A great remaster. Great graphics. The voice acting can be a touch of stale. The AI is meant to mispronounce words. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I mean, if this is what he says, then okay. The AI is meant to mispronounce words. It's a text-to-speech meant to be scuffed. All right, I mean, if they say it, that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, let's see what this guy says. 15 hours, but he downvoted. This was my favorite PS Vita game. I 100%ed it. It's not just the port. It's just the port. Nothing new has been added. The graphics look like shit. The combat is a pain to get used to. This guy's a hater for it being one of his favorite games. I feel like they could have done so much more, but it's an exact copy. I hope they release even more DLCs. They're not going to do that. It's a real shame. It's great. It's a great story, but lazy developers. I have 200 in the original. It's the beginning when you don't have fast travel. It's rough. Yeah, you do unlock fast travel after 3 or 4 hours. Like, that's when you get it. It's really annoying. It can turn people away. Just bear with it. Pass your patience. See, this is exactly at the point where I'm stopping to play. This guy knows exactly the slog it is, and he's saying, get past it. I might come back to it, but at the moment, there's just way too many other games coming out. I have to try those other ones. But if I have time, I might come back to this. But once again, I can see this being a really cool game. It's just, it's such a slog at the beginning, dude. It's such a slog. Crashing, as the devs commented, it is an issue. I've made it far with a few crashes. Once again, Switch, 0 crashes, 0 problems, no frame issues on my end. The game runs fine on PC and Steam Deck. Text-to-speech, it's supposed to be that way. Their accessories, they're supposed to be that way. Okay, got it. 10 hours, here no. Switch is better in every single way. Ew, yeah. Anti-cheat is tacked on where it isn't needed. Honestly, I wish I had requested a refund. The game itself is good. I'm an OG Vita player. This is one of the few hunting styles I've had enough drive to finish the story for. The port is horrible. Traversing through the menus locks up. Changing the areas, it locks up. Talking to NPCs, you get the idea. I returned to my cell and I did something I felt worth saving, so I felt like saving every single time. Save your money and get the console version. I do have to agree. If you decide to play this, just play it on console. Just play it on console. I don't know when they're gonna fix this, and it's not even on a sale. Don't get it. Switch, I guess PS5. It might be a PS5. I'm not sure. But yeah, to sum up, I like the game, but I feel like I just need to move on to other stuff right now. But this is not a trash. I'm not flushing it. It's just slowly stopping for now until I can figure out what to do with it later. But yeah, I can definitely see the merits of playing this. I feel like I would be playing it more if I just played it when it first came out. But other than that, it's interesting. So that's it. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the game. Let me know, like, have you played it before? What do you think of it now? Have you played it for the first time like me? And what do you think of it now? So thanks, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.